If I don't kill your sister, then me, I am free. You got the video, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I call the cops. No.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you've not been here before, then I ask that you subscribe to the channel, help us to grow. I ask that you remember to leave a comment in the comment section so we know that you were here and you participated in listening to the story, taking in all the details, right? Share the video so other people know that we're hanging out over here and they will come and join us as well. Now, let me say this. I have a video clip of this pastor making this threat to his wife in front of family members. Now, the sad thing is, he actually carried this threat out.
If I don't kill your sister, then me, I am free. You got the video, right?
Yeah, I got
I
it.
call the cops.
No.
No, call the cops, Jen. No.
Baba, stop that.
Fanya, you don't play with threats like this. Jen, I'm calling the cops. No, you don't play with threats. Please call the cops. It should escalate. He's threatening you in front of me. He said he's going to kill you. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
All right, just make sure it's there so we can go. If that's it, let's go. Let's just get the hell out of here.
Is it it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure it's... Let's get...
Call the cops, Jen. No.
Baba, stop that.
Fanya, you don't play with threats like this. Jen, I'm calling the cops. No, you don't play with threats. Please call the cops.
So the headline was printed that said that he had followers and lots of followers apparently, and his followers called him a prophet. These are the last days. Prophet. False prophets, right, shall arise. And this was definitely one of these false prophets. The pastor is charged with murder, slaying his wife at the credit union where she actually worked. His name is Sylvester Ofori, pastor of Floodgates of Heaven Ministries in Orlando, now facing murder charges. Once I said his name, there were people that said he is African, and given by his name, last name, he is probably Nigerian. All the Nigerians that have commented that I've seen have said that they're totally embarrassed and he has caused shame on the nation. However, now during a conference, investigators said that Sylvester Ofori was taken into custody late Tuesday and is accused of killing his wife, Barbara Tommy, 27. There is a videotape of the incident out there which has not been released yet of the actual shooting, the killing. It happened in a very public space. Now, according to detectives, the couple was in a process of filing for a divorce, right? And they had been estranged, living apart in separate homes for about 3 months. What we've gathered is that he did not know where she was staying for the past 3 months. So, of course, given his African tradition, his customs and beliefs, a woman runs off from a marriage, vacates the marital home, and is missing for 3 months. Everybody knows where she's at except for him. Did not sit well with him. I can imagine he was probably thinking she was carrying on extramarital affair relationships. She probably was. Okay, she was probably moving on. But they were not divorced, and he was not ready to let go. And he made that known. The police said that Ofori, pastor of Floodgates of Heaven Ministries in Orlando, Florida, he did have a pretty big following online. And this is according to Police Lieutenant Frank Crisari. He said that Ofori did have a big following online. He speaks to his followers and he calls himself the prophet. So they call him a prophet as well. His followers also call him a prophet. Now the shooting was reported about 9 a.m. on Tuesday at the Navy Federal Credit Union on Garden Parks Boulevard, west of John Young Parkway and north of the mall at Millenia in Orlando. Investigators said that Tommy was an employee. Now, Tommy is his estranged wife. And investigators are saying that she was actually an employee at the credit union at that particular branch. And she was shot by Ofori several times as she arrived for her shift. A search warrant was later served at the suspect's apartment, and Ofori was taken into custody without incident, according to the police. Now, during Wednesday's news conference, detectives did not indicate if there were any warning signs prior to the shooting, and that's what was printed 5 days before this video clip came out of him actually issuing that threat. All right, let me say this. A lot of these people nowadays, pastors, so-called bishops and pastors and prophets, a lot of these people are actually not anointed. They are not appointed but by themselves. So yes, they are more or less false prophets. Let's call it what it is. They're false prophets. And their intentions are never good. It's about money. It's about power. It's about control. It's about a narcissist, and in many cases, even a pedophile, working their way into a position of power to where they will be able to use and abuse people without feeling much consequences, because the people will be trusting of them in the position that they would be in. How many times have we heard this before? Pastors having marital affairs with boys in the church choir. Pastors having marital affairs with other sisters, female church members, even though he has a wife that attends the same church. Pastor is stealing money and living a lavish lifestyle. Gucci shoes, Gucci belts, Fendi, Prada, you name the expensive brands, and driving luxury cars from money earned from this whole church scheme that they have going. I mean, it is the American way. You find a business, you find something that you're good at, and you stick to it, and you earn your money. This, my friend, I don't know if he was earning his money, but I know he was getting his money. I don't know if he was getting a lot of money, or I don't know, because how they were living in the US, they were living in an apartment. Now, as far as I've heard, she vacated the home because she had run-ins with him before, and she was tired of the bossiness. She was tired of getting beat up, manhandled, so she decided to leave the home. Well, Mr. Ofori, in the United States of America, a woman is allowed to leave her marriage without being beaten to death or without being trailed, because that is exactly what he did. She was on her way to work, if you can imagine being separated for so long, 3 months. She was on her way to work, and apparently he still knew her work schedule, or he made it a duty to track her and catch her going to work. As the shooting was described, is that he just walked right under the security cameras and unloaded the weapon. They said he fired a couple of shots first, bam, bam, and she fell. He then stood over her and fired multiple more shots. That's why it says that she had several gunshot wounds, to include eyewitnesses saying he stood over her after she fell, because the first ones were in her back and in her upper body area. He stood over her and finished her off with multiple headshots. Kind of creepy when you look at the video where he was about to fight, I believe it was, her brother-in-law or her brother. I think that was her brother-in-law. When he said to him, "Leave. You're not a prophet. You're a false prophet." Called him out, told him to leave. And you can see, men like these, they don't normally have strength for another man, especially for an alpha man. So when a man wants to confront them, they will cower, they will run, they will hide, they will not stand and fight. But for a woman, they have the most aggressive strength. And it seems like that was the case with him. Very haunting, as he told him to leave, and he left, and he came back in 1.2 seconds to tell him, so it is her brother, because he said, if I don't kill your sister, then I am not real, meaning I don't exist, meaning as long as I am here on earth, my intentions are to murder your sister. He gave a clear warning. Sadly, you can hear in the video her brother saying, don't take these threats lightly, call the police, make a report, get a restraining order, blah, blah, blah. And she was very nonchalant about it. She was more like, yeah, that's him. He says that stuff all the time. Don't worry about him. Just let me get my stuff and get out of here. Well, he was dead serious because she is now dead. Have you heard the story? Are you familiar with things like these? Leave your comments in the comment section below. I don't know how or why women continue to stay even when they see the biggest red flags. I don't know if she was financially dependent upon him. Obviously not, because she has family support. But whatever reasons that made her stick around and not feel like she needed a restraining order, not feel like she needed to be in a location where he could not find her. Remember, this is the marital home that she went back to, right? To grab a few things, and he showed up while she was there. Obviously, this guy's trailing her around. His pastor duties are not enough to keep him busy, and probably gives him the leisure time he needed to trail her around. So he is not speaking, so we don't know if he saw her with somebody else and his heart was finally broken. He went into overdrive and decided he would really kill her. But whatever the case was, she is dead. He made good on his promise. It's BrainFLoTv. I'm out. Peace.